Mukwenda mukunanga, ya mukwenda mukunanga, mambo marugiro kumusanga, mambo marugiro kumusanga, bazana banzoro, bankanga batumbuka.
Born and raised in Shuko Ward in Mufumbwe district of Zambia's northwestern province, this is Catherine Kayamboma. Catherine grew up in a home where her parents' main economic activity was crop production, with maize being the major crop. She still holds some childhood memories of how her parents struggled to provide for the children out of what they realized from the production of maize.
Kufuma mukuseme kwa kwami yobansemene bansemina mwenenga bansemiyami yobatainenga makatajo na mambo abunjimi bwa matata uno bunjimi bwa matama bansemi yobajimanga kajinga tukajoka kwitukomeshamo tuwatuweba ni kwamba tujenga tu nge ba betu jishamo ato tumataba tumoto ashajirenga mutucheche betu poteshi keti twajinga twibufunyanga bansemi mu buyanji bwa kwa mamba bakaburukane twajentuke tumari tucheche twakuba tumbe apota mutufu wa 20 wa kwiturendekanga kyapo keti namonanga mu bukomwa kwamba sa kufuma mu buyanjini.
Today, Catherine is all grown up, married with 8 children, and continues cultivating maize more than any other crop. But unlike her parents, she cultivates on a larger scale.
Muwikara wa miliona akoma natwera ne mu masongora. Muno masongora muna atwera nasema ne bana 8. Narangurukire kubamba sakujimanga kajoka avura kabumataba. Kakubamba mpoteshenga kakajo. Fume muruka tajo rwa buyanji. Pano yombe na kuika jimaka no kajo mpoteshire yombe na kupoteshiramu kabufa ro kajitupa 5 kwacha. Ke kajo kombe na kupocha kwa mane kaburure nanchine kabena kumbwe jatu panshi mbe na kutora tu mambo akuba kajo kamataba kepa jipo kupimpurwani kyampa bingi miranguruko ne bana bamibona asema naranguruka kwa manabo kintu kimo keba kapimpurwa apone mambo akuba kajo kabuma tabake kajo kabena kuitutoja kukankara kuitutuntura mu bujamba tukaburuke twe kuyamu tukintu kinga kimo.
Catherine's story is sadly the reality for the 20,143 farmers across Mufumbwe district of Northwestern Province.
As farmers of Mufumbwe district, we always grow maize as our major cash crop. And as you know, maize is offered a lower price compared to these other crops. And so because we've been going for maize for some time now, our well-being are affected due to lower prices offered on the market. For example, we've been selling our maize, a 50 kg bag of maize at 100 kwacha, which is far too low to move us from the poverty levels. As you can see, even now, people are still wallowing in poverty because of the lower prices offered for maize.
And in a bid to increase the affordability and accessibility of diverse and nutritious foods, generate income for farmers, and make the agricultural system more resilient to climate change, the government of Zambia has been promoting the practice of crop diversification among farmers. According to the Mufumbwe District Agriculture Committee, government has continued to demonstrate commitment to crop diversification in Mufumbwe District in the supply of inputs to the 5,500 beneficiary farmers under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISIP, being implemented through the Ministry of Agriculture.
You know, as Mufumbwe, we have about 5,500 farmers that are beneficiaries on the Farmer Input Support Program. And all these have continued to benefit from these crops like maize and the soybeans as well as the groundnuts. No, these crops has given a platform to farmers to diversify from the usual maize to these other crops, which in turn may be helpful in a way going forward.
With over 14,643 farmers of the total 20,143 farmers not captured under FISIP, private sector participation remains enviable in the agriculture sector. It is for this reason that government has continued promoting public-private partnership in the agriculture sector. The Business Development Center, a development-oriented non-government organization with support from Mushiko Resources Zambia, a mining firm interested in the operationalization of Kalengwa mine, has taken advantage of this continued call by government by embarking on a women and youth empowerment program in Mufumbwe district. In piloting the program in Mufumbwe district, the Business Development Center empowered 2 cooperatives from Kalengwa ward and other 2 from Shukwe ward with 30 kilogram bags of dry beans and some fertilizers for each of the 10 cooperative members.
We've been working together with Mushiko Resources here in Mufumbwe district for the purpose of, number 1, ensuring that women are self-independent and self-reliant away from mining activities. Number 2, to build capacity in women so that they be more business-centered. Number 3, the same women that are empowered to empower other communities here in Mufumbwe district. The pilot project started in February. We empowered women, giving them farming inputs, specifically dry beans and fertilizer. As you can see around me here, some women will be showcasing that produce of the beans here at the block show in Kalengwa. We are very thankful for Mushiko Resources' continued support and dedication to help empower Kalengwa area and also Mufumbwe as a district. And we're hoping that the success of this project will help extend to other areas in the district.
Just like other beneficiaries, Febi Malambwe has a similar story to that of Catherine Kayamboma from Shukwe ward. But Febi's participation in the Women and Youth Empowerment Program has given her hope of getting out of extreme poverty in the near future.
Kabiji ke nata ya pomari ya kulinga masa kupotanga michi ya kuba spray kunkunde ne mambo nkunde yo najima ke chitwela ne birongoro ni kabiji kunde yo najima tupa cheche bati mukunowa na iya na novya na nowa ya vura kukida uvyonka byo njima mataba najima pava ya nata ya momari ya kuba maspray mari ya kuba mpote michi ya kuba spray kumataba ine kuya ku mutengo wa binzi waba yakameda 60 kwacha bufalo wa mataba mukatampe kupotesha 5 kwacha pano namona mukujima kwa binzi kimekwe na jima binzi mumyaka ikwawo ina kuiya pongekya kwa bantu ajire kujima ino binzi namona nsa kuikana na binzi yavura plus nsa ukana madi yavura sakala mukunkwasha ko muwikaro wami kimyeki onse.
A number of key stakeholders in Mufumbwe district have warmly welcomed the program. A senior headman in Kalengwa area and the Chief Chizera of the Kaunda-speaking people calls for continued support while urging his people to work hard as they take part in the program.
Inonkunwa ya beans ndiye kufuma kwa Mushiko Resources ino programu ya ikara ya wama. Cabbage fuma paki no kipimo kyotu bena kwamba. Twena kwamba kechi byafana kuperera payenka uno mutanchi tunne. Nangwangi kujibikwabo byapusana pusana. Yo bafana kukwasha. Nobe mu community ino yetu ya Kalengwa. Nangwa mukachika ino mpuje yetu ya mfu. Bafana kukwasha. Kuyane kwetu bose mwa tambura kukararubachi. Ne bana ukiba kumune kwa mama kwa mukakukwasha. Tena kumune kwa mama bino bintu bibingire mu gishine zimo byafainwa burongo. Fuma rero jino yayi tumone kwa mama mo basa kwitubujira mutu afana kurondera kwa mama tukonshe uyanangyarutwe tumone ne bikwabo bisa kurondera hapo yo afana kwitukwasha.
And the Mufumbwe District Agriculture Committee sees the initiative as an empowerment opportunity for farmers not captured under FISIP, while the Department of Commerce says the program will indeed contribute towards attainment of Zambia's vision of being the large exporter of dry beans.
Government program of FISIP has only accommodated 5,500 and the remainder are not on this program. And our appeal to BDC is that those that are not on the FISI program should be accommodated or should be brought into their program so that they also benefit, and in turn it will create wealth to these people, and by so doing people will come out of the most pronounced poverty level.
This idea sits well with our ministry because in the long run we see these cooperatives start actually exporting beans to neighboring countries. And once they start exporting beans to neighboring countries like Congo and Angola, it means that they'll make more profit, and they'll make will have actually foreign exchange. So this will not only improve the livelihood of our people in the district, but also will actually bring in more dollars in the country, and hence our economy will be stable.
Taking part in the program has made most of the beneficiary members realize the hidden life-changing potential in growing more of cash crops like beans as opposed to the usual maize. The cooperatives are thus not just appealing for a continuation of the program, but also for additional crops like groundnuts, soybeans, and popcorns besides some fertilizers, while one cooperative shows interest in doing gardening provided they are assisted by way of drilling boreholes.
Aino project itwalilile halutwe kacheka natu nakulomba kongo tukafu ko cheka nawa tunehela ko yakufana nge byelu soya beans sunflower na mapopcorn momwe bibyuma nge tunabilimi nabikatutwala ko halutwe cheka momwe byatwama na jimbongo kuhamba kana hali ebyakufana nge bivwali
kunde izi tunangonda unga umo pano mataba ine izina nani kare yavura ujime na bangondo basatu usekwire ubike fertilizer koko minoka sombole pano kundenge na jim ne abika ne fertilizer na pishamo ne burongo ine kanowa ukira po kayinga sekera kila mataba
ilanga titu kwangu lakana kabaka hakulandisha ina buffalo ya kabaka mwani ne chainu mpinjingana idi hateni kwachi dichichi na nyimu chainu mpinjingana titu kwangu la akana ka tosi kana ka nyimu kana kadede ha 60 kwa chainu mpinji dichitu na moni ne hadi chambu cheneni buffalo ye kala yeneni ka tosi ke kala ka nyani ilanga mali ya nyimu anamweka nde kuvula mali ya kabaka anamweka nde kukeha dichitu na lombi kunetu ni mali ana kuinyiranga kunyimu antesha ilanga mali akulandisha munyimu ana kuvula ilanga mali ana kunyira ku kabaka amavulu akwinzira kurandisha kana kabaka mwani mali ana kuikala antesha nankashi ndichi tunafwiri tunamoni ne kuiji nyimu imbutu ikutera kuchinka ku mali ikutera kujikwasha na chimwani
no kuromba ku neto tukwashiku ukwashi mwani tutachi kudima garden muronga neto na dimi garden amana mu garden tutuna kudima tukudima ku mwani neto kuchinka ku mbutu tukudima ku tomato musaru cabbage mwirembu ni onyonyo dichi na jimbutu jaje mwanti tukujidima tukuyandanga hamatara wanyi dichi muyena garden tukudima tunakuromba netatera kutwinka ku water pump.
According to local experts in agriculture, empowering the women with these crops will indeed not be a waste of resources, as the soil types and rainfall pattern are conducive for their growth.
Soils in Mufumbwe can accommodate crops like soybeans, field beans, wheat, as well as sunflower. This can be attested to because we've had farmers that have tried these crops and they've never regretted. So this goes to even other investors that would want to come and invest in Mufumbwe in terms of these cash crops to sell. They'll never regret, because from the statistics we can attest to say the rainfall that we receive is able to accommodate these crops at any time. And as we know, these crops come in two different varieties. They are what we call late maturing, which can be accommodated due to the long rainfall pattern that we get to have. We can also have the medium varieties, which can also be accommodated in case a farmer may be planted late. And we can also go in with the early maturing, because even them, they can do well due to the long length of pattern that we have.
While the Business Development Center considers the possible increase in terms of inputs to the farmers, the beneficiaries wish they can be supported with equipment to help in shelling produces like beans, soya beans and groundnuts.
Ngewe tubikirapo soya beans n'embarara. Twaringa kukarana rusekero wingi kwitu kwa shako mashini ya kupudishako soya beans n'embarara.
It suffices to say that traditionally, people of Mufumbwe have and continue to rear small livestock such as goats, pigs, and chickens. That means the environment is generally conducive for good performance of the sector. The cooperatives are thus appealing for support for rearing small livestock such as goats, chickens, and pigs, an initiative which has been endorsed by the traditional leadership.
Bantu kwafanikiwa tuwezha kumune kwa manenga kurera birerwa yapusana pusana nanga kwikare ba ngombe nanga kwikare ba mbushi nanga kwikare ba nguru ikuru ayo ino programu yaikara mujishina jimoja wana
atusumbi mwani tunamonine kwijihiyuma yatera kutukwasha mulonga na tusumbi ne tunayihembi ho chiwahi anakuli deha na tusumbi mwani kasumbi umu mwani wo muneni wekombu tunakumbananisha na 150 chadini yena nawa tunakumbananisha 100 kwacha chengi nawa na tusumbi nawa anakusema mateta na mateta tunakuiranisha 3 kwacha iteta dimu dichi tunezera kumona ne kwiji chuma chatera kuchwinka mali mumpinji yanonga na kuwana chihandiru chechiwahi chuma chikwa unacho na kufuira kulomba kuneyi ampembi mwani ni wena ampembi nawa ekala chiwahi mulonga wena asemanga mumpinji yantesha ni kuvula avulanga mumpinji yantesha ne munu mwetu ho humunu mushukwe ho humunu ne muntu nezina kulanda mpembi unakuli ho chiwahi wo muneni mwantu na kumuranisha mali ana shiku 500 kwacha dichine na tuhemba na mpembi ana every day kufumisha munu kutwala kusolezera ku border atera kuchwinka mali amavulu kupanda kana 500 kwacha mwani.
While the Department of Commerce gives an assurance on the availability of both local and global market for livestock, the Department of Livestock has not only opened its doors for expert support to the program, but also assures that indeed the environment in Mufumbwe is conducive for livestock rearing.
When you look at the prices of these livestock, they are quite good. Okay? Even just here in Mufumbwe district, if you go around, you just find beef in these so-called butcheries. There's no meat for goats, and yet people like goat meat. So if the farmers or cooperatives can rear goats, they'll be able to actually make money even just within here in Mufumbwe district. And also, when you look at the outside market of Mufumbwe, you look at Solwezi. There's also a good market there where these livestock can be sold. And more, especially when they commercialize it and they put their goats together as a cooperative, then they take the goats to Kasumbalesa. You know, one goat actually is going at between 800 and 1,000 kwacha. So if the goat is sold at 1,000 kwacha and the cooperative has supplied maybe 100 goats, look at how much money they can make.
When you look at Mufumbwe district, it receives fairly enough rainfall, and this rainfall provides enough pastures for livestock production to thrive. Also, when you look at the disease incidence, quite low disease incidences in Mufumbwe, and all those are aspects that promote livestock production. And also locally available feed resources from the many crops that are produced. Then also let me strongly indicate to say as a department, as a ministry ourselves, we have qualified staff who are able to help our farmers, into many aspects, such as feed formulation itself, such as construction of improved housing structures, disease control aspects. So all projects that want to venture into livestock production, I think our doors are more than welcome. Our staff will be more than happy and ready to help out into these ventures.
As BDC possibly extends the program to more beneficiaries, it is important to note that fish farming and honey production are some of the viable projects for empowerment in some parts of Mufumbwe. The Department of Fisheries says the availability of trained staff, coupled with all required factors for fish farming, make the venture feasible in Mufumbwe district.
Mufumbwe has very good soils. Good soils naturally will make it cheaper to construct ponds. It has a lot of water resources which are very necessary for fish farming. We have a lot of feed resources from the many crops that are grown in the district which can be used for feed formulation. As a district, we are promoting and encouraging a lot of farmers that want to venture into fish farming. Like indicated earlier, we have the Department of Fisheries in the district with qualified staff who are able to help the farmers into the management aspect of fish farming. And this starts all the way from pond pegging, construction, the actual farming itself, fish farming, and all the way to the marketing stage. So I would want to implore all the groups, all the farmers, and all the projects that want to venture into fish production to come through to our offices so that we could actually even empower them more with knowledge.
For the Department of Commerce, fish farmers will not only be meeting the unceasing high demand for fish in Mufumbwe, but also supply to neighboring districts as well as export to nearby countries.
You would find that fish which is coming from these water bodies, they are not enough actually to feed the people of Mufumbwe. So we always have a shortfall of fish on the market. So this is a business which is so viable that can actually change the lives of people here in Mufumbwe district. And not only in Mufumbwe district, we know that fish is perishable, but it can be refrigerated and then be transported to neighboring districts like Solwezi, Manyinga, and also it can be exported.
Besides having trained staff at the institution willing to offer support to the program, Mufumbwe Youth Resource Center says the vast forests make beekeeping projects very feasible in the district.
Mufumbwe, it has a vast land which is unused, a vast forest, which makes it suitable for the bees to be kept there. And then looking at the experience which our instructors have from the issue of beekeeping, they are able to train our students in how to rear these bees and how to maintain them, and also how to harvest the honey, and also how to sell this same honey.
On the other hand, the Department of Commerce says there is high demand for pure honey, both locally and globally.
When you just look at the export of honey, just 500 grams, 500 mils of honey, pure honey exported to China, you make $100, all right? And the market is readily available there. And not only exporting, even just locally, people use honey as a substitute to actually sugar.
Being a body which represents the interest of local farmers in the area, the Mufumbwe District Agriculture Committee only has two wishes.
We are happy that we've started seeing other players coming into the agriculture sector. For example, the BDC, which is also in line with government promoting the diversification agenda. But our appeal is that in as much as they are coming on board, they should also look at the issue of market linkages. For those who do maize, it's very easy to sell their products because Food Reserve, which is the major buyer on behalf of government, is found almost everywhere, especially in these far-flung areas. So for those farmers who grow maize, it's very easy to sell their product to the food reserve agents. Unlike those who grow groundnuts and soybeans, you know, it is very difficult for buyers to go to these far-flung areas to buy soybeans and groundnuts. The reason being that most of the roads to these areas are very bad. These farmers should be linked to these other markets so that they are motivated to cultivate these legumes. We also want to see these players compel seed producers to start producing climate resilient seeds, which will help our farmers continue in the diversification agenda. As you know that the weather now is changing world over. Sometimes we may have droughts, and sometimes we may have floods, and this can affect farmers if we still continue using the same seeds which are meant in this region. And so if these players in the agriculture sector can consider this, I think it will help us as farmers to diversify completely into these other legume seeds.
There is no doubt that the Women and Youth Empowerment Program will help in bringing about the much-needed poverty and vulnerability reduction in local communities if fully supported and effectively implemented.